these people believe that anyone that does not have melanin in their skin is considered white in anime and manga.
But speaking of not using your imagination, we do have a wonderful episode of F around and finding out. You know,
Yeah. So basically, for those of you that have not been on Twitter for like the past, I think this has been going on for like the past 72 hours, or not 72, 36 hours. So basically, a stupid 16-year-old decided to blackwash a a frame from DanDaDan, and it turns out that and Japanese Twitter was digging through this. They were selling their blackwash edits too for like up to $30.
that's weird.
Yeah, and this if it was just regular fan art, it's fan art. You're drawing, fine. But this is edits. Like they straight up took copyrighted material and drew over it and traced it and all that. Like, come on. That's kind of illegal too, if you think about it.
It's a lot illegal,
Yeah,
actually.
that's very illegal, and the 16-year-old is really finding out. But yeah, they are getting destroyed. I've seen, and I think it even says here in in the Japanese forum that there's a lot of adults trying to coddle this 16-year-old. They need to get, in my opinion, yeah, they fucked around, and they need to find out what life is, because yeah, you kind of committed a crime.
So this person is saying in Japanese, could be like genuine or not. I'm not sure. It says you nobodies tried to harass this poor girl off the internet while official DanDaDan English VAs are using her work as their profile pictures. Oh, I love it when black people win.
Oh, they didn't win because AJ Beckles, the voice actor for O.R.C.A, he changed his profile picture to the to O.R.C.A for like less than 24 hours. Then he changed it to like a whitewashed, and I describe it as like a whitewashed and shaved head version of it. And then after even more backlash, he terminated his Twitter account, went to Blue Sky, and he actually posted on Blue Sky, he's like, yeah, I terminated my Twitter account to get away from the racists.
Mm. Oh, genius. Very big brain. But as this person says here, it says Twitter makes me so insanely mad because a racist can get 300,000 likes spewing the craziest Yahtzee s to a black teenager just because they made a black DanDaDan edit. I hope Twitter breaks down like a car or something? Whatever. So, anyway, down so that we can all transfer to Blue Sky, where those people who like kids are, and just create without all the people telling us that we can't like kids.
But what they're doing is not art though. And even Japanese Twitter, I found several tweets from them saying this, and I don't think people understand it. So basically, there's a difference between fan art and what these people are doing. Fan art is you could do what you want as long as you're actually drawing it. If you're drawing it from the ground up, that's fan art. But what these people are doing are tracing over like existing images. They're doing stuff on Photoshop where they're just like using an eyedropper and changing the skin tone from uh, white to black, and sometimes this happens in reverse as well. And it's just, and sometimes we'll say they fixed it. It's really disgusting. That's not fan art. That is just editing, and that's
And it's one
stealing.
right, and it's one of those things that is well, it's also insulting to the Japanese in that we constantly complain about cultural appropriation, right? Well, what is
Mm-hmm.
that exactly, right? The other thing to remind people of is that when this happens, right, and this is my problem with race swaps, is that it inherently means that the creator or visionary has no faith in the original black character that they could create in order to facilitate that desired character design. However, that's where we are, where people simply don't have the confidence in creating their African descended demon slayer character and hoping that that gets enough attention. They have to change main characters into a race that is not Japanese, as we've seen worked out so well for Ubisoft. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, I actually,
what's that?
speaking before I forget, right before we went on, I saw this tweet from Japanese Twitter about Ubisoft. And they said, I wouldn't have paid any attention if some stupid foreigner hadn't forced racism on me by saying that it was a status symbol for Japanese samurai to keep black slaves, that Yasuke was a samurai, and that the characters had light skin, etc. So, Ubisoft, you might have started a race war.
Yeah,
accidentally.
I think we're pretty sure. I think we're pretty on that. So anyway, the Japanese, the insults against Japanese were terrible. And as we read up at the top here, we'll just skip back up to the top in case there's new people here. It says the issue of black people illustrations has gotten pretty serious. And this has been translated from Japanese to English, so there may be some gaps here, especially some lack of formality. And so it says they changed it to black people, and it's better than Japanese people. Ugly Japanese people who worship white people are criticizing it. Japanese people should get a lobotomy. And that is some of the quotes that are involved with the support of this edit that was
And
done.
this edit is done by a 16-year-old who is selling their art for up to like $30. That's what I found on their page, and that is getting destroyed by Japanese Twitter, and they even did community notes on it.
Sorry, there's a fire truck going by. It's quite a rare occurrence where I live. I'm out in the countryside, so when these things go by, something terrible has happened. So the so this writer says this guy is seriously bad. It's so bad. He called Japanese people who criticize the blackening of characters, and the racist said Japanese people should get a lobotomy. A lobotomy is now banned, an inhumane practice that involves inserting metal rods up the nose and destroying part of the brain, depriving a person of emotions. Now, again, the Japanese are applying the literal definition to that, and obviously, this person was intending that the Japanese should stop talking, and that is what they meant by a lobotomy. But I do find it interesting that they went and they said that's a pretty serious accusation. So I'm glad that they register what a lobotomy is. And so this is the original quote. This is the original tweet right here, and it says, "But really, though," and this is again in Japanese, so it's intended for Japanese people to see.
No, this is in English, but they have the Japanese translation below.
I'm sorry. I thought it was above. My bad.
Yeah.
But really, though, this is an insane and crazy way to act over some fan art. I really hope they heal or get a lobotomy or whatever. And that is a crazy thing to say about a piece of art online that isn't really, culturally important, I guess. It's not the Mona Lisa.
No,
Right?
and it's usually goes in one direction. It's the double standard. It's almost never happens when there's when it's a whitewash, there's death threats. Always.
Right.
But when it's a blackwash, like there's praise for it from these people.
Some of the influencers that I watch over in Japan were talking about this anti Western English speaking sentiment right now because of actions like this, the Johnny Somali thing, as well as like the cultural abuse of Japan. And then, of course, Rahm Emanuel, our ambassador, doing everything he did with their government. There's a lot of anti American, anti English speaker, anti West sentiment at the moment. So when this person says this statement right here, he says, Japan was right to close its borders for a long time and develop its own culture and ethics. I can't have so this person is they're quote tweeting this thing. And so this guy is right. This is a sentiment that's shared by a lot of Japanese at the moment. Not everybody. There's a great deal of people that are growing very resentful of the West as the pressure continues to fall upon Japan to conform to things that are totally foreign to them and have nothing to do with their culture whatsoever. It isn't like this stuff is showing up on their shore. It's literally being forced on them through the internet. And so this person is quote tweeting someone who writes, I can't help but think they're crazy. They steal other people's creative works, paint them over, and post them with a smug look on their face. And then when they're criticized, they call the Japanese victim a racist. That's crazy. I'm glad I'm not one of them.
Seriously, like this is what happens all the time. I mean, we saw it with Bakub, the mangaka of Pop Team Epic. And the thing that's ironic about it is Pop Team Epic takes a lot of inspiration from Western, media. And there's a lot of Japanese anime and manga that takes inspiration from American culture. So
Yep.
that's like it's just a slap in the face to them when this happens. And My Hero Academia is a great example of this. My Hero Academia takes inspiration from Marvel Comics. So when you see this kind of thing, it's like, damn, it's a
Oh,
huge slap in the face.
they locked their tweets.
Oh, they go protected?
Yeah, check it out. I went to check the image, get a bigger picture. It's gone. They locked their tweets.
Oh, the 16-year-old did? Oh,
Whoever did that O.R.C.A one.
Oh, the O.R.C.A one did. That wasn't the 16-year-old. That was a different person.
So this meme kind of encapsulates what we're talking about.
Yeah, the top one is the one done by the Pop Team Epic mangaka that was sent death threats by these people.
Right. And this is what happens is they redraw these characters with African American traits, not African traits. Let me make that clear. And they go through all of this just to avoid having to make a new character. Look at all the character design they put into these characters, redrawing these things or drawing over them, rather than creating a wholly and entirely new character. It gets on my nerves because there's a lot of creativity involved. It's just absolutely wasted. It absolutely is wasted.
And a good chunk of the time, these people probably it's because these people can't even draw.
It could be. It could be that too. There's a lot of people. I remember going to school with kids that traced over stuff and claimed that they were doing it. You know, that one picture of Goku that went around the internet forever of him flying at the POV and he's got his two fingers kind of wound up in the fist in the back, you know?
Yeah.
That one. Everybody could draw that one perfectly, but not any other Goku. So this person writes, seriously, in the last 2 days alone, I've seen over 5,000 hate speeches from overseas. This is hate speech post. Again, it's translated from Japanese, so it's going to be a little up and down. 5,000 hate speeches from overseas insulting the appearance of Japanese people, saying things like, you are a self-hater who draws anime characters as white and wants to be white, but you're actually ugly, and it's driving me crazy.
Well, yeah, something that's common amongst these people, and some white people do it too, is that they believe that all Japanese anime characters are white. And then there's the sentiment that all Japanese anime characters that have any melanin in them are automatically black. And for some reason, green characters are black coded, which I do not understand that sentiment.
I still can't figure out how Piccolo's black. He's a demon. Why would you want to claim that? It's like, I don't want Hellboy to be a white guy. He's a demon. I'm not like, that's a white dude with his big white man hand. No, that's a demon. Literally grows horns out of his head. That's a demon. I have no idea why people look at Piccolo and go, hey, Demon King Piccolo. That's a black guy. What? He's green. He has antenna. He doesn't even have a penis. You remember that? They're all asexual. They puke eggs up. Why? It's really weird that they really want Piccolo so bad. He doesn't even have a penis. It's really weird. Yeah, he's a demon. It's been revealed that the Namekians were demons that escaped hell and went out into space.
Yeah, it was in Dragon Ball Daima that basically revealed that almost any being with the pointed ear is a demon, and then they confirmed that Namekians are demons.
Yeah. So Demon King Piccolo, full circle.
Yeah, when I saw that, I lost my mind.
Right. It used to be this scary thing that he called himself, the original Piccolo. He called himself and, like, ooh, I'm scary because I'm green and I have antenna. I'm obviously a demon with my pointy teeth. The Demon King Piccolo. And then Kami was like, nah, we're aliens. And I split apart from him because he's an asshole. And the whole thing fell apart now and it's just come back full circle to they're demons. That's it. It's over with. They all escaped somehow. And that was that. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just feel like it kind of took the uniqueness of the Namekian final battle away, with Goku, and because they were fighting to save demons, or enslave demons. And now I'm kind of like, that's annoying, Like the Namekians were kind of neat. They were just like a bunch of dudes. There were no lady Namekians. They were just a bunch of bros out in space broing it up.
Well, we don't know. We don't know the full reason why. Well, no, we don't know for sure if it was Majin Buu that drove them out or not. but we know Majin Buu was causing a lot of hell
Oh, that's
in the
right.
demon realm. We don't know the full story about that yet.
Well, anyway, back to this mess.
Yeah.
So this person writes, the overseas voice actor is expressing his support for blackening the characters, which is a blasphemy against the original work and racism that excludes Japanese people. He changed his X account icon image to a hate image of blackening the characters, which excludes Japanese people, expressing his blasphemy against the original work and discriminating against Japanese people. This is an international issue. Officials should remove this voice actor immediately. And I don't disagree. As a professional, like my family ran businesses, and so one of the things is you don't discuss your politics as a business owner. That's how you kill off customers, right? That's how you end your business. So my family had countryside taxi service, so there's a bunch of different vehicles. We never put any political bumper stickers on there. We never had any road signs like the little lawn signs you stab down in to tell who you're gonna vote for. Never had any of those growing up. People would call up and they'd want to know, and we wouldn't tell them. They'd ask in the car. You don't tell them, that kind of thing. And that's what you got to do when you're a professional. When you transcend out of being a private individual, and then you start working for a company, you kind of have to be like on work hours, especially when you make your work your persona, like a voice actor. This guy is labeling himself a voice actor right there on his profile. If he wants to go shoot his mouth off and be part of this, he can make an alt. They do it all the time. I'm pretty sure Trump has alts. I'm still not sure that Greg isn't a Baron Trump alt. You know Greg. Everybody knows Greg. But I'm still not convinced that's not a Baron Trump alt. So that, this guy could have easily have made an alt and participated in this and not drug his professional account into this, and thereby implicating a professional thumbs up to what's happening here, meaning the company, because he's a representative of that, given that he's contracted with them to voice the character who was race swapped. It is such a huge mess when these people simply don't think 10 minutes into the future. I'm sorry, you sign a contract to be a voice actor, to be an actor, to be any type of representative of a company, like in that fashion, that your talent is what sells the thing. It's not a product like a toy or whatever. It's your actual voice, your actual appearance, whatever. You have to surrender part of your freedom about that. That's just how it works. If you want to be successful and to appeal to as many people as possible, you have to cut out your politics. You just have to. It's why celebrities used to not invest in this stuff publicly, unless it was a big issue. Not this. This is not a big issue.
Well, it wouldn't be a big issue if it didn't go international like this.
Well, it has become a big issue, I guess.
Yeah.
So we have Damian Wayne, defense lawyer, whatever, someone who's very self-important. And it says that effing part because that Japanese person is 6'5" with blonde hair and blue eyes. Swear to God, a conversation does need to be have about Eurocentric features of these characters that don't have a certain setting. Fantasy story, but it's strictly medieval Europe. Apparently preference is a problem now. If you're making anime, you have to make anime about every time that ever happened ever? I don't know. I will admit this, okay? And historically, the Japanese depicted themselves in a very similar manner to how the Chinese depict themselves, with a more golden hue to their flesh color in their art, until they encountered the Dutch, and it seemed almost like an instantaneous change, and the Japanese started depicting themselves as Snow White, very pale.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, that's how it remained. And I'm not sure how that went down, what the Dutch told them, but it clearly has left a very deep mark on them. And some medical journal about 3 years ago defined the Japanese as white now. So,
God.
Yeah. And it's not like a big, profound thing, but it was a medical journal it wasn't like a medical journal that said, from now on, this is the truth. It was putting forward the genetic theory that they are no longer considered East Asian. I think that's how they're defined. East Asian.
Yeah, they're defined as East Asian. Yes,
that they're white.
Japan, China, and Koreans are part of East Asia.
Yep. And so that's been
Oh,
like
they're
a thing
trying.
that's gone
Yeah,
around.
they're trying to do like the whole fucking white adjacent shit with
Yep.
Japanese
Because
because they're
because
successful.
well, because everybody has to be in a category. They can't just be people. It's too hard, I guess. It's just too hard to be like, that's Naruto. He's a ninja. The end. You have to be like, he's a ninja with blonde hair and blue eyes living in a Japanese ninja village. That's
But Naruto's
racist.
white though. Like
Well,
everyone knows Naruto's white, and Luffy and Oda said if Luffy was in our world, he would be Brazilian. Like this person's argument is so moot. Like the only one that is technically Japanese out of the three is Ichigo.
look at you. But again, I mean, that's the thing is that, like, I don't,
It's,
Ichigo, I think
it's
he's half, right? He's half Japanese, half, like, Irish, right? Isn't that
well, no,
his?
he's half Quincy, half
Oh, okay.
Shinigami
I
technically.
was just trying to like put
But
together like his
yeah,
mom has blazing red hair and blue eyes. That's so
but still, it's just like yeah, for the most part, he's Japanese.
yeah.
Yeah, he did. I mentioned
Nerdigans
it
brought
earlier.
this up. Yeah, that this person fled to Blue Sky in order to be
And
among
then
their kind.
yeah, and to be away from the racists. And I've seen stuff on the replies to me were like, yeah, we're gonna go follow him and we're gonna go after him there.
Look at this. Like this has to be a joke. Y'all got to stop drawing yourselves to look like white people in them mangas and animes before you talk tough first, Pookie. This can't be real.
This
This
is
has to be
real. This These people are that stupid. I've seen so many people say this.
in them mangas and animes.
Well, in the not in that kind of style, but still, like what I mean is overall, where they're saying that people they believe these people believe that anyone that does not have melanin in their skin is considered white in anime and manga.